What up, everybody? It's your boy, mrthraz, back again. Look, I'm gonna talk about some other things that's been happening recently in the boxing world. We're gonna talk about first off, to begin with, the fight that started it all off about 2 weeks ago was Timothy Bradley versus Lamont Peterson. Uh, I'd heard a lot about Lamont Peterson, and I liked what I heard because I heard he put it on Floyd. Now, um, I heard he had to leave the camp that Floyd was preparing for Marquez with, and that was an incredible thing to hear. You know, of course, Floyd had been off. You know, and Floyd had, last time he was off, last time he had like a little 2 3 year vacation. He was come back sparring against Paul Spadafora and got taxed. So that's nothing new. You gotta shake ring rust. But still, Paul Spadafora ain't no punk. So it was good to see, there was somebody at least on that level coming out who was, pretty close to 147 weight, who might be able to give Floyd a little work later on. So I really didn't give Timothy Bradley a chance, even though he had done pretty good against Nate Campbell. I watched the fight, and bruh, I got flashbacks of Holyfield. Young Holyfield coming up to heavyweight, out hustling everybody, and I was very impressed. And I'm thinking, what are we gonna see from Timothy Bradley? I thought the word was gonna be about Lamont Peterson, but the word now is, you know, who we gonna see Timothy Bradley fight? Because I don't think we're gonna see Timothy Bradley do have anybody who's really gonna mess with him if he continues to fight this smart and use his gifts as well as he has. The next fight that happened over the last couple weeks was Martinez versus Williams. I tell you, that was an exciting fight. It was great. Martinez came in there. He was willing to fight, willing to trade, found his angles, which ain't easy on a 6'2", 6'3" welterweight, and executed it as well as he could. And Williams dropped in the first round after dropping Martinez, comes back and fights hard. I mean, well, if you saw it, you know what it was. I tell you, it puts a few question marks, because I had always been saying on Williams, it puts a few question marks on Williams. Even though Williams won, and I feel he deserved the win, it makes me think that maybe Williams going up in weight and, fighting at middleweight and light heavyweight, and perhaps, within the next, 6 to 8 years, fighting a heavyweight, because that's entirely possible with his frame. A lot of people make fun of me when I say it, but it is. It's entirely possible with his frame. And dealing with the lighter weights, going up in weight, he'll be able to handle, slower punches coming from guys. But a lot of this leaning in he's doing, maybe the leaning in is all because the people he's fighting are so small and short. But this fight was fought at middleweight, basically. So we'll see more. Williams definitely edged it out in a hard-fought win, where he fought harder than I think he needed to. Williams is starting to remind me of Charles Brewer, and he better be careful with that. I mean, Charles Brewer was a great fighter, had a lot of fans, but he fought stupidly for his body type, just because he liked fighting on the inside. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to realize, if you got an advantage, take advantage of your advantages and box. If you got a tall, lengthy frame, and that's what he got. But hey, he gave us a great fight, and so did Martinez, and I want to see more from both of these guys. The next fight we saw the last couple weeks was Diaz and Malignaggi. Diaz came in a little overweight. You know, gave uh, Malignaggi those extra couple pounds. Gave Malignaggi an extra, couple feet in the ring. Malignaggi didn't even use it. I guess all he needed was the extra weight. Uh, he beat him better than he did the first time, and even rocked him. I mean, this is a feather-fisted guy. Uh, I hear a lot of people talk a lot of things about Malignaggi. Uh, Saying that he's not a great fighter, and I don't think he's a great fighter, but he's a good fighter. He's a good small fighter who will do some good things. But if I were Malignaggi and I had made some money on this fight, uh, I would think it's about time to retire. See, Diaz still has options. Diaz can be the gatekeeper right now. Diaz can be basically what David Tua is in the heavyweight division. You know, if you beat David Tua and you a heavyweight, there's something special about you. If you beat Diaz, there's basically something special about you. But Malignaggi, while he does have something special, has never really capitalized on it. At the age he's at, with the wrist problems he has, and with his attitude, is not going to be able to get anywhere. He's talked about going to fight Marquez for a shot at Hatton. I don't see him beating Hatton. I don't see him beating Marquez. I don't see him beating Timothy Bradley. I mean, if you name any guy where he can make money off fighting him, I don't see him beating him. Doesn't mean he shouldn't fight, but you got to realize, what are you fighting for? He's not going to be a blood and guts warrior like Mickey Ward or Arturo Gatti or even a guy who fights like Eddie Goro off Tekken. I forget his name at the moment, but he fought Ward and had a fight of the year. These guys, they'll give you a great fight, and a loss, you're gonna appreciate him. Malignaggi, unless he's winning and got you following him around like an idiot, you're not really gonna be interested in what he got to say, because he's really gonna just get beat up. And he doesn't have a right hand. If he decides to fight back really hard, his right hand is really gonna shatter on him. He's got something like 15 screws in that hand. There's nothing he got. I know a lot of people in New York are really happy, that Malignaggi got it, and Malignaggi does have that, that Italian thing going on with his attitude that's very New York. But he's done. There's nothing else he can do. This was a good fight for him, and I think he should really consider retiring at this point while he's on top. Maybe get a couple of gimme fights. All right, the next fight that happened this week, in the last couple of weeks, was Klitschko versus Johnson, and it just reinforces my ideas about what's wrong with the heavyweight division right now. People do not want to fight each other. They need to fight each other more and get it together, because there's no reason why these two lumbering giants should be the heavyweight champion of the world, the Klitschkos. I mean, I didn't hear nothing about Johnson. Johnson's from my neck of the woods in Jersey, and I thought I would have heard something about him. I didn't. But when I did see him in the ring, I saw Dewdrop, very reputable trainer out of Jersey, was in his corner. And you could tell Dewdrop was working on him, because his defense was great, but he had trouble throwing into fire. He had trouble finding the angles. You could tell he wasn't ready for a heavyweight championship fight, and he wasn't in shape for it. And this is the thing. You get that opportunity, you gotta want it, and you gotta go for it. And people aren't doing that right now, and they need to think about what they're doing, because that fight was his to be had.